Well, good afternoon, class. Today is July 23rd, and this is Module 12 over Chapter 12, Communication in Families. This will be my last module for the semester. It seems fitting that I'm once again in the microfile library here at OU. Like I say, it's been a wonderful semester. You'll get another video tomorrow and Wednesday for the test that begins on Wednesday, but this is my last module for the semester. So let's get right down to it and talk to you about the PowerPoint. So, like I said, this is Chapter 12, Communication in Families. First slide talks about the exam. It'll be Wednesday and Thursday of this week. There's an exam 2 review guide on D2L. Also, if you want to turn in anything that you want to score for, you should turn anything in that you want to score for this week. After this week, you can't turn anything in. So make sure you're turning anything you want to score for by the end of this week. And once again, tell your friends I'm teaching a hybrid version of this class during the fall. That means it's partially online and partially face-to-face. So let's talk a little bit about the Chapter 12. Diversity in family life. There's a lot of diverse types of families. There's a stereotypical family that we see on television, and we'll talk about media depictions here too. But there's a diversity of families, not one set family. And there's like diverse purposes that each family has. So usually in my face-to-face class, I talk a little bit about media depictions of families and how they're different. Usually they tend to be more stereotypical on the television and in the media, but they don't show the diversity that there is in real reality. And usually when there is a diverse family life, it's usually there's a purpose behind it, and they make light of it and they say why that's kind of different. And they make a point that that's different from the way we usually interact as family, the way that family usually is seen. But you know that the media generally depicts a pretty stereotypical family. Commonly of the couple, there's basically two the book talks about. There's cohabitation and then there's marriage. And then within cohabitation, they talk about heterosexual cohabitation and then lesbian and gay cohabitation. We'll talk about both here today. There's a number of different marriage types. The book talks about them more than I can talk about here. Usually in the face-to-face class, I talk about how these marriage types differ a little bit and what kind of the students that are married, how those marriages are different. Then there's the other relationship types. There's traditional, there's independent, and there's separate. So some people, then the book talks about those more in detail than I can talk about here. Then there's basically three ways that communication and long-term commitments are expressed. There's words, thoughts, and emotions, and you can see there's a little picture on the PowerPoint that kind of shows a little triangle and how those connect. Just think about how the way that we feel gets expressed in thoughts, which usually gets expressed in words, and how those all interact. And then there's the family life cycle. I talk about this more in face-to-face because I can kind of talk about where people are in the family life cycle and what stage. And usually the family starts as a young couple, and they usually don't have children. And then they go through a process called enlarging, which is when they acquire more children, and then the children develop. And as the children develop into young adulthood, teenagers, there's an encouragement of independence. So they want the children to become more independent. And then there's a process called launching, which this is stage 5, where the children move out of the home. This is a little bit different in the U.S. than it is in other countries. The moving out process is different in other cultures. People don't move out as much until they're married in other cultures, but that's another issue. Then there's the post-launching, where there's just still a relationship once they're launched. Then there's retirement, which is kind of the empty nesters situation. So usually I talk about in the class what kind of cycle, part of the family life cycle you're in, that sort of thing. And then, as usual, the book gives you a little pep talk for effective communication in families. There should be a maintenance of equity in family relationships. And you need to make family daily choices that increase intimacy. There's a lot of research on families that eat dinner together. They tend to be stronger. Now, it's kind of a chicken and egg. Are families stronger, so therefore they eat dinner, or do they eat dinner, so therefore they're stronger? But there's daily choices that increase togetherness, and then show respect and consideration. But like I say, the main thing is just maintaining daily interactions. Then there's equity that talks about the social exchange theory, which is that you maintain a relationship as long as you get all the benefits, and then once the relationship becomes more work to maintain, then you get out of it, then you kind of get out of that relationship. So each side needs to invest equally, and if one side is investing more than it's worth, then eventually they move out of the relationship. And that's kind of how it works in families, as well as all kinds of different interactions. But that's what social exchange theory says, is that you invest as long as you get similar benefits from that investment in the relationship. All right, so that's all for Chapter 12, Family Communication. As I said, the second exam will be this Wednesday and Thursday. The Exam 2 review guide is on D2L. If you want to score for anything, you should turn it in by the end of this week. And as usually, tell your friends that I am teaching a hybrid version of this class during the fall. That's all I have for today. The next time we hear from me, the exam will be out, so make sure that you are ready to take the exam Wednesday and Thursday. You'll have the exam 48 hours to complete it. It'll be the same process as the first exam, but I'll talk a little bit more of that in tomorrow's video. Have a good week.